Alright, here we go, y'all. Alright, so one of the reasons I started making these daggone YouTube videos, alright, on one hand, it was the fact that, a lot of people want to learn voodoo and need to know what it looks like to live it, practice it, and be in it. And so I wanted to make sure that got out there. That's one thing. But then, on the other hand, the other reason I wanted to start doing these videos is that folks get up here and put out a lot of bad info, right? A lot of stuff that just ain't true, and they say it's about voodoo, and I don't know what it be about. One guy in particular, there's quite a few people. There's quite a few people out here that say crap. So, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all some stuff y'all can do to verify for yourself whether or not you're going to see someone who is really in voodoo, especially African voodoo. And if you are talking to a charlatan, I'm gonna call it what it is. It's a charlatan. So, if you are dealing with somebody in African voodoo, and not Haitian voodoo, not New Orleans voodoo, I don't know what them people do. I know they do things a little different. So if you're dealing with somebody in African voodoo, West African voodoo, the Yewe voodoo, Goro voodoo, Akike voodoo, one of those. Then there's a couple other ones, quite a few others. Then that person, and if you go see somebody in African voodoo, and that person tell you that they're doing a African divination for you, pulls out a deck of tarot cards. If that person pulls out a deck of tarot cards, I ain't gonna tell you that this person ain't in touch with the spirits. I will tell you that this person is not fitting to do an African voodoo divination for you right now. That is not what's fitting to happen. I'm not gonna tell you this person ain't gonna tell you your divination. I will tell you that he's not fitting to do no African divination for you. Why? Because that's not what we use. That's not what we use. That's not never what we use in African divination. Now, I know people that are initiated to multiple systems of divination, and tarot cards is part of those systems that they're initiated to. That's a different conversation. And they pull out what they're more comfortable with, or what the client is more comfortable with. That's a different conversation. But if you go into somebody and you go into them because they said they're going to do African divination for you, that ain't authentic. Second thing, if you go to somebody and they tell you that they're going to do African voodoo divination for you, and they start asking you questions, that ain't African divination. One of the reasons I love African divination so daggone much is because I'm supposed to be the one with the landline to the daggone spirits. I'm the one that the gods are supposed to be talking to. Why am I going to ask you a question? Now, to be fair, when I was first trying to find my feet in voodoo as a priest, I was unsure about a lot of things, so I would ask for confirmation, right? I would ask for somebody to say, hey, so this is what I'm seeing, am I right? All right, I would ask for that. But I'm going to tell you something. In African voodoo, I don't ask you no questions. I don't ask you who your mama is. I don't ask you where you was born, when you was born, your zodiac sign. I don't ask none of that. In African voodoo, you don't ask them questions. You tell that person what it is. You tell that person, you sit down and you throw shell. You ring bell. Right? You are fire. You cast out fire. Or you see. You don't ask nobody this shit. You bringing it. You bringing the information. You need information to bring the information. And I'll be 100 with you that the person even has to introduce themselves to you is kind of shady, because ordinarily, but not always, ordinarily, the voodoos themselves tell you that somebody is coming to see you this day, and they give you an idea what this person's gonna look like. Yeah, because it's like that. Why? I mean, you're supposed to be psychic. Why you didn't see me coming, right? So that's the second thing you got to understand. The Voodoo ain't gonna need you to give them no information to give you your reading. He just needs you to be present, or more accurately, to be involved. Because number 3, it doesn't matter how close or how far away you are, online, of Voodoo, of any skill and ability, can give you your reading regardless of the distance. The only thing that has to be is between the two of you is air. In other words, you can't be in another world. You can't be underwater. There's a way around that one. And you can't be in outer space. And guess what? There's a way around that one. So if you're a living being, then a Voodoo should be able to give you all the reading information you need. That's it. And then 3 surefire ways for you to know whether or not you're about to give your money to a charlatan. A Voodoo doesn't have to ask you no questions. Already know you coming. And doesn't require you to be anywhere at any particular time in order for them to do what they need to do. Once you come to a Voodoo to get your reading done, once you come to a Voodoo to get your reading done, you can sit back and relax. It's going to happen. It's going to get done. Because I'm sitting up here and I'm looking online at all these daggone folks with these tarot cards. I ain't seen the first Obi nowhere. But you African Voodoo. And don't get me messed up now, like I said before. There's different divination systems that a person can get initiated to. And then some people there's other ways to get around it. But when it's done, you just need to understand, that's not African Voodoo. I'm not going to say it's not a real divination. I'm going to say it's not an African divination. Because they don't have cards. And there's one cat who's authentic. I know he's authentic. I know him. I know the guy who trained him, who initiated him. I know he's authentic. He likes tarot cards. He's got tarot cards. He designed his own tarot cards because he likes to do tarot card readings for a whole bunch of reasons. All of them are his. And you know what? More power to him. I hope he keep doing those great things. He gets a lot of wisdom out there to people who are not capable or accustomed to the African way of getting things done. But he'll tell you, hey, these are my African tarot cards. But tarot card readings ain't an African voodoo reading. He'll tell you. I ain't got to tell you. He'll tell you. And he doing them. But when somebody trying to pass that mess off like it's authentic African, it's not. It's not. It's not. Because that's not what the voodoo gave us. That's not what the voodoo gave us. So, that's that. And since I'm on the subject of charlatans, let me tell you something. There's a lot of folks out there who claim, okay, it ain't a lot, it's one joker out there who claims to have taken the secrets of, I swear to God, this is what this dude said, taking the secrets of the voodoo masters and he broke oaths that he made to these voodoo masters. And there was some prince some voodoo prince that he got some information from, who taught him a ritual or something. I don't know. Supposedly. And he says that he's got this book now that he's selling. He's selling two different versions of the book. One's hardback and one's softback, paperback. Both of them are all pretty. And, spent a lot of money on these books to get them made. And the first he did 500 copies where he was allowed to make 500 copies. And then he said he's going to make 500. He's going to make some more. Because he felt like the wisdom should be shared, the knowledge should be shared, and all of this other good happy horse stuff that's full of crap. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, don't be believing that BS. That's hot garbage. Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing today?
Not too bad, sir. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for yours. Cool. When I say I live in a gated community, y'all, I mean I live in a gated community. I got armed guards at my community door. Anyway, so yeah, he said he got these daggone these secrets, and at first I was like, well, I don't want to dismiss him out of hand because he claiming it's Haitian voodoo. And I'm like, it's still voodoo though. The crap doesn't sound right. Because first and foremost, and everybody's mad at him. And they all want to come and kill him. And I'm like, well, this don't sound right. Because first and foremost, nobody in voodoo is stupid enough to have you make an oath to them without divine enforcement. And so when in voodoo, if you make an oath to somebody, you don't make an oath to me on my name, on my head. You make an oath to me on your head, on your name. In other words, your voodoo, when we had this conversation before, you have your own personal voodoo, your own say, your essay. That's who you make that oath on. That's who you make that oath on. Now, all gods know that if they break their word, they lose they lose their ashe. They lose their power. They diminish their soul. They become less than. And the reason is because gods are an affirmation. The spirits are affirmation of a thing that exists. It doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist on the spiritual world, it doesn't exist. So the one thing that they can't do is lie on themselves. Because if they do, they diminish themselves. Because you become outside of the created world exists on word. So if they lie, they diminish themselves. So if you make an oath on those gods, on your gods, then those gods have got to honor it. And they can only honor it by making sure that you don't break your word. And if you break your word, then they have to do something. They have to. They have no choice. They have to do something. These daggone people in this daggone raggedy ass hat. I'm trying to keep their daggone logo out of the picture and shit. They just not helping. So, anyway, this is what my man says. So I said, okay, well, let me look at it. And he got this full-page video out of what's in his books. His book is The Spider and the Green Butterfly. Now, I suppose that means something to the Haitians. I don't know. It don't mean nothing to me. But The Spider and the Green Butterfly is the name of the book. And in the book, it starts off, he starts talking about the contents of the book. Oh, people, please. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's full of shit. Pyromancy. Service to the Dark Lord. And the funny thing about it is he started it out with, as a sorcerer, you're supposed to learn that you worship nobody. You a master. You acknowledge no one as your master. You master yourself in the world around you. You're a sorcerer. So right there off the bat, I know, okay, this is not a full anything. I don't know what he got in there, but again, you know, an open mouth hears nothing. So I shut my mouth and I watched the video. He started out talking about you got to be a master of all things around you. And by the end of the book, the final chapter, to get to the most powerful spells, which, you know, whatever. To get to the most powerful spells, you've got to, what do you say? Swear fealty and loyalty to the Dark Lord and the Dark Master, the Dark One, and claim him as your father and all this other good stuff. And I'm like, this shit right here is why people think crazy thoughts about voodoo. This is not voodoo. I don't know what it is, but it's not voodoo. I'm not going to tell nobody that what he talking about ain't, what he teaching ain't real, or it's not this, that, and the third. I'm just going to tell you. Because he seemed to have a lot of respect for voodoo. I heard a lot of his podcasts about his journey into voodoo. I'm going to call it what it is, y'all. He lying. He lying. He lying. He lying. I know he lying. Everybody else know he lying. He know he lying. Y'all, You can become a master of your world, of all things around you, with voodoo. But that's not its purpose. That's not its point. Its point and its purpose is for you to get to where you're supposed to be the quickest and easiest and most fulfilling way possible. Why? Because you're going to fulfill your purpose. Whatever God made you to do, that's what you are going to do. You have no choice. You will do that. You will do that. Everything you do will move you to that point. Now, whether or not you go willingly or kicking and screaming is up to you. Voodoo is about how to go not only willingly, but in a way and method that enriches you the most. But what this cat was spewing was utter BS. And I promise you, you listen to these cats right here, they'll have you effed up. They'll have you hollering at the moon. At no point in time did this cat say anything about veneration of your ancestors. I don't think he mentioned actually acknowledging them. And if he did, it was some old crazy crap like Marie Laveau. Oh yeah, he loved to talk about Marie Laveau. I don't know the chick, so I don't speak ill of her. And there's a lot of people out there that says that's a wise thing to do. I don't speak ill of her because I don't know nothing about her. Well, I know something about her because I'm an American and I'm in voodoo. There's no way to be an American in voodoo and I know something about Marie Laveau. But what I mostly know is that she ain't in African voodoo. That's what I mostly know. And I only worry about things. I only used to worry. I still only really worry about stuff that had to do with African voodoo. There's a lot of paths out there, but I figured if I master the one that's mine, then that's what I need. And everybody, that's not for everybody. You know, that's just my opinion, and that's how I do business. So that's not for everybody. Okay? But I know what my path is. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. You dig? So, yeah, so this cat, he put this crazy stuff out there, and I'm reading, he talking about, voodoo mind control. He talking about hexes and curses and crossings, red brick dust, and going to people's grave sites and getting grave dirt that way, and all this other good stuff. And I'm like, maybe that's what they do in Haiti. I don't know. But that's not African voodoo. It's not. If the person you talking to spends an inordinate amount of time talking about energies and auras and stuff like that, unless that person, and frequencies, unless that person is trying to reach you where you are, unless that's how you're talking, so he starts talking that way, that's not the way we talk. We don't talk about them things. Energies, auras, frequencies. It's not how we talk. Mm-hmm. In general. Because I can think of a couple of places where we might mention frequencies. All right. Particularly when we start talking about Dan. And that has to do with, when you start talking about your Dan, then you start getting into things like cycles and stuff like that, and then you can find yourself talking about frequencies. But in general, no, we're not talking about that stuff. Not in African voodoo. No, yeah. Like I said, I can't speak for African diaspora religions.
like Haitian and Louisiana voodoo, or Santeria, or Kimbada, Candomblé, and all this. Espirito, whatever they call it. All of them. There's a lot of them. I don't even know them all. I can't pronounce most of them, right? I can't speak for them. I can speak for African. We don't talk like that. We don't. We only use that type of verbiage when we're trying to communicate to a highly westernized mind who can only picture things in these daggone terms, who can't look at things as they are, so have to do this little translation in their head. And that's cool. Hell, I'm supposed to look down on you for that. I had to do it. Everybody has to do that at some point. I still do it in my own way, right? But not with that. You know. When they start talking about, oh, your frequencies is too low, or your auras or whatever. No, we'll say something along the lines of, my voodoo is talking to your voodoo, because that's what it is. But here's the last one. Then I'm gonna call it a day because I'm getting tired. I've been up all night dealing with dumb people. We don't denude the voodoos. See, there's a push in the diaspora because we're so mad at the church. We decided to take God out of it, pretty much. And what do I mean by that? I mean, right now, people are much more comfortable talking about the voodoos as energies, because the idea of them having a volition of their own is frightful to us, I suppose. I want to talk about the voodoos like they are batteries or computer programs or wall sockets, or generators, or whatever. We don't want to talk about them like they're people. We'll make mention that one or some or all, depending on who you're talking to and what you're talking about, we'll make mention that they were once human beings that walked the earth. But we won't acknowledge their personhood. Like, it's not Damballa, it's Damballa energy. It's not Gu, it's Gu energy. It's not Mami Wata, it's Mami Wata energy. No. If it's Mami Wata, it's Mami Wata. If it's Todela, it's Todela. If it's Etsukofi, it's Etsukofi. If it's Togbe Kunde, it's Togbe Kunde. It's not Togbe Kunde energy. It's not Mama Tsida energy. Alright? It's Mama Tsida. It's not Bangri Ketete energy. It's Bangri Ketete. That's who it is. Who it is, not what. And that is very, very important, because you lose sight of what's really going on when you imagine that you're in charge of the daggone thing. But that's that Western thinking. That's that colonial thinking that puts you in the center of the universe. Voodoo is not anthrocentric, though. It's not. And voodoo's not anthrocentric. Man is not in the center of the universe. Not in voodoo. No individual is in the center of the universe. Not in voodoo. The center of the universe is, always has been, and always will be God. By whatever name you decide to call God. You call God Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever. Mawo, Lisa, Inyame. Whatever name you decide to call God. That's what's at the center of the universe. Everything else revolves around that. I'm telling you, y'all gonna get lost if you don't listen to these things. That's the first thing. I swear that's the most important thing I could have ever said. God is at the center of the universe, not you. Not you. Not me. I'm not at the center of the universe. I don't even come close to it. Stop trying to lobotomize the voodoos. Make them tools for you to use how you want to. It's not what they are. That's not what they've ever been. They're not energies. They're not principles. Y'all got me going. So, look. That's all I'm going to put out there right now. I've been kicking it all day. And I'm a little hot under the collar about this BS. And I'm hungry because I ain't ate. So, y'all. Oh, and I got one of my homeboys. I'm going to put a plug out there for him. And long story short, I'm going to put out a survey here in a little bit. I want y'all to look at this survey, take the survey, and see what it do. All right? It's going to be real beneficial for everyone. In the end, he's trying to get a business up off the ground, and I think we should support him. All right? So, there you have it on that note. And be good to each other. Remember, good character counts a whole lot. It's one of the 4 pillars of daggone invincibility. So, do yourself a favor. Take a little step closer to being invulnerable and have good character. Be good to each other. Remember the gods. Remember your mother and father. Your days will be long. Peace.